Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We got to talk about the Bachelorette episode. I don't even know what episode we're on anymore.
It's week 7. Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Week 7. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, you can find the link in the description. All right, Sarah.
Hello.
This one, I liked this episode. It feels like
too.
There was a lot of different pieces in this episode. It wasn't just like group date, one-on-one, rose ceremony, done.
Mm-hmm,
like there were some different segments thrown in. We're starting to see, the pack kind of like spread out a little bit.
Right. Yeah, you're starting to see her connect with people. And it also just felt like a genuine spending time with each other, as opposed to let me sexualize these people or make them feel like this is what you do to be a man, like all the sort of stunty things that they do so often. I felt like this was just a solid let's see who's connecting episode. So I mean,
still some stunts like the smoothies, the orgasm over the hotel phone.
That was amazing though.
Yeah, I know. But we're starting with with a group date, which is also kind of stunty. And like, honestly, kind of a flop for me, this group date where they're like supposed to write a love song and perform for her.
And why, David? Why?
Because they weren't songs. Nobody sang.
Why was this so difficult? I was like, this is what I've been asking for. I was like, can we put a picnic together? Like, what are challenges that people actually do as a couple? And they're competing to write a love song.
Yeah.
They're competing for the one-on-one by writing a love song. And I'm like, yes, this is a great challenge. Have fun with this. Literally nobody has a creative bone in their body. Like nothing.
No.
They were terrified.
And terrible. Like Zac is just banging a box over and over again, like not even keeping a beat, just hitting the box randomly. And then you've got Blake on the accordion and the ukulele, which is like kind of fun to see them try to play stupid instruments they don't know how to play. But then I guess like Bennett is supposed to be a standout with his very awkward rap. I just was at a loss to find anybody that was even decent here. Even Ivan, who wins, I was like, you're just reading a poem. Like, this isn't a song. I just was not impressed. Sorry, I expected more.
No, I wasn't impressed at all because nobody went for it. Like, I don't care what your ability is. You have to be like, I'm strumming a guitar and I'm singing a song for you,
Yes.
And everyone was like so obviously timid. And they were like, he wrote a song for you. Let's get married.
No, yes, they were all so timid. Like, you're right. Just go all out. Like we were talking about with the chicken dance performance on The Amazing Race. Just be over the top. Because DeMar, he does pull out the guitar, but he's strumming one chord slowly over and over. And I'm just like, I need energy. I need entertainment value. And this isn't giving it to me.
Right. DeMar is the only one I could have any positivity towards. But that just meant the bar was so low. Yeah. So this is super disappointing. But Ivan wins and they get to have a one-on-one date. And thank goodness, because this was a lovely one-on-one date.
It was. Yeah. He essentially wins this one-on-one, not because his song is great, but because he like pulled the move of like, come sit next to me while we do this. So that was the only thing that was good about the whole date or the whole competition. But yes, he wins the one-on-one. And at first with this thing, again, we've talked about like the low production value in these dates. They're playing Floor is Lava. They're playing Pillow Fight. They're playing Twister and Bocce and eating ice cream. And I'm like, this is not special at all. But I did feel like they were kind of genuine. It felt like genuinely giggling together and having fun. And I was like, oh, this is kind of a real date that someone could go on.
Yeah, no, I like that she set it up of like, if we were home, this would be a Friday night, which I relate to. I'm home a lot playing games with my husband. Like that's my life before quarantine and everything. But can I tell you a funny story, David? So they played bocce ball. They're at the La Quinta Resort. I first learned about bocce ball at the La Quinta Resort. They have it set up by the pool. And I was like,
Okay.
what is this sport? And Douglas and I walked over there and I creamed him and killed him at bocce ball. And from that moment on, I have been obsessed with bocce ball. I coach it for the Special Olympics. I'm in love with this sport. And so when I saw them playing, I was like, oh my God, memories. It all started for me at the La Quinta.
When I destroyed my husband.
When I destroyed my husband and I realized my special skill is bocce ball.
I love that. It felt like a little Sarah moment in this episode.
Was. I was like, oh my God, I've touched those balls that they're touching.
Right. So that was sweet. And it ended up being fun, even though at first I was like, Twister, are you serious? But it ended up being overall a good vibe for this date. And then the conversation.
Then they really connect. Yeah.
Ivan opening up about his brother, that's like standard stuff, right? Like this is the kind of stuff that, excuse me, not standard, of course, but like on The Bachelorette, everybody's got a story. And so like, his family drama is something that I would expect to see. What I was not expecting to see was the George Floyd conversation. I never thought that I would see something like this on the Bachelor franchise. So I was like kind of riveted to the television because we would not have seen this conversation if Claire were still the Bachelorette. Like this is kind of a special moment for Tayshia's now season.
Yeah. And you could tell Tayshia was not prepared to talk about this. Like she caught herself off guard that they went there and she got real emotional. She's listening to his very dramatic story. And props to him for just being open about it. But she's still in very much, I'm on television mode. She's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
She's still performing. And then all of a sudden she's not performing anymore. She is like emotional, talking about Black Lives Matter. And she's saying, I can't believe I'm being so emotional. And I'm like, yes, you should. You're human. Like, feel it. Talk about it. This is wonderful.
Right. But I think Ivan spoke really well about it.
Yeah.
And I think Tayshia, like you said, was kind of caught off guard and hadn't maybe collected her thoughts because it's a lot of like, she's just wiping the tears away for a long time. And she's like, I don't know why I'm emotional. And like, I want to talk about this, but, and she's kind of like, it feels like she's like just trying to collect herself and think like, this is going to be on ABC. What do I want to say in this moment? And so she does
she has an interesting story because she comes from Orange County. She talks about that a lot, about how she's the only one of her kind in Orange County. And that's very true. Right. So her experience of Black Lives Matter, she probably does have to keep her mouth shut a lot. And then she was like, I'm going to go on The Bachelorette. So I'm not going to talk about real life serious stuff. We're in a fantasy world. And then all of a sudden we're there and we're talking about it. And I'm so glad that they fell into it because it is real life and we do need to talk about it.
Totally. Yeah. And this is like a scenario that we just have never gotten on this franchise. And I thought it was like fantastic to finally see it after such a long time of the show being on the air. So of course, Ivan gets a rose. They've done incredible bonding from like fun, giggly, cute, playful to like very serious life stuff. Some things that only they could have in common or, to Black people could have in common. So like really valuable stuff on this date. I was not surprised to see Ivan get a rose here.
No, thank goodness. I'm like, yes, I love you two together. All this, more of this, please. Like, I hope that this isn't just for show. Like, I really enjoyed watching them together. So, yay, Ivan gets a rose. Adorable.
Yes, right. Yep. And then we go on this group date, and the group date.
Oh boy. Okay.
I was kind of confused because it's the same group. That performed the music. I was like, we're not giving anybody else time here.
No. They're like reading off the names as if it's going to be a different group date. And it's just the same people who couldn't write a love song.
Right.
And now they're just still going to get time with her. But I love how Ben is just like, he just is like, my name? They didn't say my name.
Yeah.
He's pouty.
But again, there's no commentary from the guys of like, you all had a thing already.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, why can't I be on it? But it's like, it's the same people who are not on it here, who are not on the first thing. Like, you should be more mad about that, I think. Like, spread the love a little bit. But, Noah is the one that everyone's zeroing in on here because he's like, felt like Tayshia and I really had a thing. Like I really would have loved more time. And they're like, you already have a rose, Noah.
Yeah.
So you don't need to
Mhm.
be on this date. And I think like
Mhm.
it's specifically starting to be like Bennett versus Noah a little bit, which is
Mhm.
great because Bennett's on the older side and Noah's on the younger side.
A
And I
child.
just
Oh,
love
wow.
that drama there.
It's interesting that Bennett is so annoyed that he's really speaking up because I felt like during the Claire time, Bennett just like knew how to stand back and just like
Mm-hmm.
speak up occasionally. But now he's like, I
Mm-hmm.
can't stop. I'm a star of the show and I will talk to you, Noah, because you're driving me crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think you understand what group dates are for. You already have a rose. And Noah's like, I'll tell you a different definition of a group date. And it's just like, what?
Okay.
What is this? But now this is gimmicky. Okay, now we're going to do a group date, but it's a competition.
Mm-hmm.
They're in pairs. She has two best friends. Do we know one of these best friends?
We know both of these best friends. So Becca
Oh.
Cuffrin was the Bachelorette 2 seasons ago. And she was famously picked by Ari when she was on The Bachelor, got engaged on the show, and then he dumped her and went back and got together with the second place woman, Lauren. And now he's still with Lauren and they have kids. But she was like dumped post finale. And then she became the Bachelorette.
That's
and then
dramatic.
Sydney was on Colton's season of The Bachelor with Tayshia. So they're friends from that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because she's like, this is my best friend. I'm like, so weird that all your best friends are in the franchise. Okay.
Right.
I see how
it is
works.
weird. It is weird. Yeah.
Unusual. Feel set up. Okay, yeah. So this is the one you were talking about. We've got smoothies with like cow intestines or something in it.
Yeah,
that
crickets.
They have to chug.
Yes.
They've got to go get Chris Harrison's autograph, and he's like chilling with some crab legs and champagne.
Mm-hmm. He's got to sign their butts, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have to pick up the speaker system for the hotel and have an orgasm. And
that was
some
the
of
best.
them, it sounds like it's painful for some of them. Like if they're, you know, as much as I was like, this is so old, it is funny. When it was happening, I was like, this is a lull. Like I'm definitely enjoying this.
100% lulls, because I mean, honestly, the best shot was as soon as you hear it, go to easy. Easy is everything I need in life. So he's like, whoa, what's that? You know, I just need his reaction to it. And then I need a shot of Tayshia being like, oh my God, because she's like mortified and embarrassed by this.
Yes.
So perfect. I loved it.
It was perfect. I loved when Easy was like, Blake has some demons. Like, he needs to work that. And then they're also laughing about Kenny being like, back up, because what does that mean? What does back up mean when you're having an orgasm?
I honestly don't want to talk about what I thought he was saying. I thought he was saying, well, now I'm going to talk about it. I thought he was saying, why am I doing this show with you?
You're going to do it.
Why? I'm blushing already. I thought he was saying, come back up.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I thought he was saying, back up, back up.
Back up.
Back up.
Not back up. Okay.
But it doesn't matter what I thought. Please
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I thought either. Yeah, we don't need to get into it. But they're all, you know, running around doing these challenges. I will say, Chris, it appeared like Chris might have signed an upper thigh on Damar and not the actual butt, but we did see the butt on Zac. So not sure if that's like breaking the rules technically there.
Whatever Chris does is fine.
Yeah. Yeah. But then they have to eat this habanero pepper and propose.
And propose. Now the proposal did get interesting because all of a sudden Bennett was like, for reals.
Yeah, very serious.
It felt we were really proposing, and she was like, oh my goodness. And then he's saying to us, you know, in his one-on-one that like he really fell into the moment. And I don't know, I liked Bennett in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he then, you know, after they have this like silly proposal with like this giant prop ring, they go to the cocktail portion of this group date. And then Bennett is like the first one-on-one. And I got to tell you, Sarah, I'm a little stunned that he's emerged he's emerged as this like front runner character, like a real
Yes.
serious contender, because he was kind of a joke for a while with especially with Claire, but then even at the beginning with Tayshia with the math and the spelling and the Harvard and all of that. But now Tayshia seems kind of into it. I think she's into slightly dorky guys.
Yes, she is. White guys. She's into slightly dorky white guys.
Yeah.
At first I was a little uncomfortable because I think of Bennett as a character. I wanted him to be on the show as a character, but in no way did I think he was an actual love interest, right? And so at first when she's keeping him and liking him and he's in it more, I was like, I don't see him as a real person. I just can't get on board. But then the more he opened up and became a real person, then I was like, oh my gosh, yes, Bennett's adorable. I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah. I mean, he's talking about he was very close to marriage. He had kind of this like traumatizing broken engagement in his life. His parents had a troubled marriage. I'm like, okay, I have to shift how I'm thinking of Bennett here, because there is obviously he's a person, but I thought he was just a character on this show. But now they're like really delving into his backstory, and it is kind of touching. And he does have things in common with Tayshia because she's been divorced and he's got the broken engagement. So here we are taking Bennett seriously, everybody.
I know. I can't believe we are here, but we are. We are here. But he does not get the rose.
No. Nope. Because
there is a nerdier white guy in the room.
Exactly, Sarah. I was like, this is the type. Like when I was telling you that, people are going to go home slowly and then the type is going to emerge. It's emerging on this group date.
She's like, I do dig you, Bennett, for sure. But Zac's here, so I'm going to give it to him.
Right. And they just like made out in the hot tub and he was like, I'm shy, but it's because I like you. And I guess that was enough for Tayshia. And she was like, here's the rose, Zac.
Yeah, that worked. I nothing against Zac, but I find that interesting.
Yeah.
I find that one interesting. He's not doing anything for me, but that,
okay. Yeah.
It's not shade on him. He's a lovely person. He's just not doing it for me. You know what I'm saying?
Doing it for Tayshia, though. Then we get, Sarah, I really enjoyed this like guys sneaking away series because the producers got me. They got me multiple times because
they did.
I loved this. This is a Bachelor trope. Someone leaves the house, sneaks away to find the Bachelor or Bachelorette. But I can't recall them ever doing it with two separate people. So immediately I was like, oh, this is new and fun. Like two guys going to see Tayshia. What's going to happen? And then when Ed shows up.
I think they did Ed dirty. Poor Ed. They were like,
I think he went on it. I think the producers were like, we need you to go see Chris. Will you play along for this thing? And he was like, yeah, I'm Ed. I'm fun. I'll carry a baby.
He's a really good actor then, because he looked truly disappointed when he showed up with Chris, but maybe he's a good actor. But before we get there, may I say that when we first start with Ben, he's in that like group room, the rec room. I don't know, with the other guys, and his feet are up and he's wearing socks with his Birkenstocks. And I was like, oh, Ben, no. Like from here up, I've been on Ben. Yeah, I've been like all for Ben. And then I saw his feet up and I was like, nope.
Yeah. Not even relaxing, Sarah.
You
can't even get on board when they're like relaxing at home.
With socks in their Birkenstocks? No, I'm sorry.
Well, I have to say, for everybody out there, Sarah hates Birkenstocks generally.
That's true. I do.
It's hard. It's a high thing. It's like a big wall for her to get over. But then I think I guess the socks with the Birkenstocks, it's just like two strikes and you're out, Ben.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was like, Ben, is this ironic? Like, is this a?
I do think people are like doing that nowadays.
Okay. Do you. To each his own. Okay.
But we see, they sneak away simultaneously. It's set up like they're both going to get to Tayshia's room. And I'm like, who's going to get there first? So then when Ed knocks and he's at Chris's room.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, right. Ed
I was
gets
like,
it and
Ed got
not
there
Ben.
first. Yeah.
But he's at
Mm-mm.
Chris's room by accident at 2:30 in the
2:30 in
morning.
the
Like,
morning. Yeah.
no. Get
Okay.
out of here.
Yeah.
Also, like, if it's 2:30 in the morning, put Chris in like some silk pajama set with like an eye mask. Like, he's fully done up and he's like
Right.
in a hood. Like, it's not 2:30. Don't.
No, he's like wide awake. He's like, it's 2:30 in the morning. You want to come in? I was like,
Mhm.
no one's buying this is 2:30 in the morning. But I love that
Right.
Ed is at Chris's house so that Ben can safely go to Tayshia's.
Mhm.
And this really was great. I don't know how much of this is produced, but I'm so
Yeah.
glad that Ben went there and
Mhm.
apologized and kind of explained himself.
Yeah. It's
And
kind of the same conversation that they had before where they're like, my guard's up around you. And I kind of like felt what Tayshia was going through because she's like, I told you that I'm nervous around you, and then you didn't show up for me. So I guess I
yeah.
should be nervous around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, he could have explained himself more, I thought, because I really did buy into the whole, I'm calm. I'm not going to make a big thing about it. I'm going to swoop in and spend time with her. But he didn't. So maybe it wasn't necessary or maybe it was cut out. It doesn't matter. They talk it out. She kind of says, I'm frustrated with you. Like, she doesn't just say, okay. She talks to him about it. But they do, like, room service shows up. And again, I think it's Ed. At this point, the door.
Okay, thank you. This is when I'm like, because they're kissing,
yeah.
and I'm like, man, I wish Ed would show up right now. And then there's the knock, and I'm like, right on cue, like literally as I was thinking, like, I wish it were Ed, because he leaves Chris's, and Chris is like, Tayshia's over there, so I'm like, it's gonna be Ed, and then it's room service, and I'm just like, those producers, they got me again.
Nice. Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, oh, yay, room service. And he was all like, haha, I had something planned. And I was like, good job, Ben.
Yeah.
So they have a little champagne and lots of kisses. And it does feel like they're back on the same page, which I do like the two of them together. So I'm glad that worked out.
Yes. Yeah, that was a nice little thing.
For the record, he put on shoes and socks for that. So.
Oh, good. Okay, I was wondering if he showed up to Tayshia's with the Birkenstocks on.
No, I looked, and he had taken them off. So, okay.
So now we are going to the cocktail party, right? So they're all dressed up now, and
here we go.
Back to Noah's the villain. Ed is setting us up with like a test confessional, and he's like, I'm just suspicious. Oh no, he's not even in confessional mode here. He's like, it's like some weird grainy night vision camera of him and another guy by the pool, and he's like, we got to get Noah out of here. They're like conspiring to like do something to get Noah out. I don't know what. And then when they actually get in the room, I'm kind of loving Noah needling Bennett a little bit. He's like, because he to me is acting a little bit older, I think, than these older guys. The older guys are like, Noah, you're not playing fair, and like, you're not here for Tayshia, and wah, and they're kind of being whiny to me. And I kind of like that Noah's like, well, I'm gonna keep doing it. I don't know. To me, that's my read of the situation.
Oh my goodness, that's so interesting. I cannot hate Noah more. Okay, that's a strong word. But I can't wait for Noah to be off my television. Oh.
I'm just kind of like, guys, stop obsessing over Noah. It's like,
well, true.
It's a futile endeavor. It doesn't matter what you think of Noah. It only matters what Tayshia thinks. And she needs to just come to the conclusion herself that Noah is not great and send him home. You getting fussy about him demanding time with Tayshia is annoying. And so I'm just kind of like, yeah, Noah, like give it to them.
Right. I mean, I see that, but like all of that's produced.
Yeah.
Right. They are probably annoyed with Noah, but they're not going to talk about it all day, every day, except that a producer is telling them to talk about it all day, every day.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason it's like all up in our grill. But Noah is annoying AF. I don't like him at all. And so this whole thing that blows up, I just really got mad at Noah. Okay. So let's just dive into what Noah does. Because don't you find what Noah does inappropriate?
I mean,
oh god damn it, you're so bad.
I know I am. I feel like a villain right now on this podcast. But to me, I was like, this is a bit savvy because normally what we see what Ed did, where Ed goes to Tayshia and is like, Chasen said this, Chasen. I'm talking trash about a specific person. Where Noah's out here like, I'm not here to name names, but like, I just want you to know, like, the guys are talking about this and it feels like they're questioning you. And I know you're here for the right. Like, he's manipulating her effectively. Yes. And it is dastardly, right? Like, it's not well-intentioned.
It's not 100% accurate, though, from the information we've been given. Whereas, like, Ed said, Chasen said these things, and those were accurate. Noah is doing one of those general things of, like, the guys don't trust you and they don't think that you, like, what are the words he used? Like, that you're not taking this seriously.
Yeah, right.
And questioning your integrity. I mean, those are just key words in this franchise.
Yeah.
That trigger people.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's clearly got triggered.
He's spinning it for sure, but I kind of bought what he was selling because the guys are saying Noah's a joke and she gave a rose to Noah. The implication there is Tayshia can't see that Noah's a joke. She can't read this guy for who he is. So they are kind of, in a way, questioning her taste, but Noah phrases it in a much more direct way.
Right. He spun it to a different way and made it seem like, that they were against her. And it made me go, oh my God, they weren't even saying the stuff about Claire and she wasn't taking it seriously. And they were still like, oh, but we love Claire. Oh, she's wonderful. When they could have been like, girl, you got issues. And so here we are with Tayshia, who's actually doing great. And they're all so happy that they're finally with Tayshia. In no way are they questioning her. So, I'm just mad that he's like spinning it and making her think something that's not true.
I guess I'm just like, he's making a good villain. And so I'm enjoying
He's making a great villain.
Yeah. But she's like, I love her. She's like, I know you don't want to give me names, but I want names. Like she is like, there's like a fire in her eyes and it has worked, Noah's plan. And she is walking back into the house, storming back in, like, everybody in this room. And then they go into the other room and the guys are like, Tayshia. And she's like, no, we're not doing that.
What is this motion? She was like,
no.
They were like, what?
They're like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just sit here and listen.
And here we are. This is the second time this group of men have been scolded by a bachelorette. Now, is this common? Because this is woe to me.
Usually, I think it's, that's a great question. I haven't really thought about that. But what's jumping to mind immediately is group confrontations like this, but the bachelor or bachelorette is confronting one person. So if the other guys had played this well, she would have gathered the group together and been like, Noah, here's what I'm hearing about you. You're a villain, XYZ. But Noah outplayed the rest of the guys, and so they're getting chastised here.
Gotcha. So she just lays into them and ultimately is like, if you don't think that I am doing this well or correctly, I will escort you out right now. And then she's like, so peace out. No more cocktail party. I'll see you at the rose ceremony.
Yeah, it's over. And they're all like, Noah? What did you say? I mean, they're like, so who was with her last? Oh, no, this was great. This is another moment where I'm like, Noah, you're a perfect villain. Because they're like, who was in the last conversation? What happened? And Noah's like, it was me.
Yeah. He like waits a minute and he's like, me? And of course, like some of them are like, oh my gosh. And then my boy Easy is all like, whoa, you.
Yeah.
And then it flips over to Bennett and Bennett's like, I can't even with you. And I was like, whatever, here we are.
I know. I mean, they think that they're like arguing with a 14-year-old. They cannot stand how young Noah is compared to them. Like, again, I just want to remind these guys that we've had 21, 22-year-olds on this show. Like Noah is a full 25. So yes, he's a lot younger than you, but it could be worse. But then Bennett in the confessional's like, I'm here for love, not for breastfeeding Noah. And I was like, That is a line I've never heard on reality television. What?
Yeah, he's not babysitting. He's not here for that, but he feels like
No.
he is with Noah. I mean, honestly, everyone needs to unengage with Noah and then it won't work. But
Right.
I mean, I'm on Bennett's side. You are not, but I'm on Bennett's side. And I was like, Bennett handled it very well. He told Noah that he needed to apologize to not only Tayshia, but the men who no longer got to talk to Tayshia that night because some people just lost their chance. Of course, Noah has no plans to do that. And Noah says to us, I don't want to be the villain, but if I have to, or something like that. And I was like, wait, what?
You want to be the villain. You're doing it well. Like, just own it. You're making a great villain.
He took it from Spencer, right? Spencer was our villain.
And I know. Where's Spencer? Spencer's like silent. And Noah is like, oh, no, I'm the secret assassin here. Like, I'm going to be responsible for many men going home. I'm sure he's like trying to, go after Bennett at this point. But more of that to come for sure. But we're going to the rose ceremony first now. Before
we get to the rose ceremony, I just want to point out that Tayshia and Brendan did connect before this crap went down. And it was like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. And then they just started making out. So they're still good.
Again. Yeah. And I also want to point out that, Ben was like, I'm going to show up for you at the rose ceremony. And he was perched on like the edge of that couch. He wasn't even seated. He was like crouched, like ready to pounce. And as soon as she finished she like didn't even say like, cheers to tonight. And he was like, can I take you away?
He was like, on your mark. Get that. Like, he could not have been more obvious. But the guys they don't know that they spent the evening together or that sneaky thing, but they know that Ben got in trouble. So I think most of them understood what was happening when Ben was like, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, let's go.
Right. He's like, I'll make a false start if I have to. Like, I'm ready to go. I don't care.
Exactly.
Okay. So someone has a soundbite before we go into the rose ceremony that it's going to be a massacre. Maybe it's Noah who says it. I forget. But it's going to be a massacre tonight at the rose ceremony. And then Tayshia walks in. The music stops. She stares daggers at the guys for several seconds before she reaches for a rose. And it does feel like she's reaching for a knife and it's going to be a massacre. Like, it is not a good vibe.
It really wasn't. It was, I was like, oh God. Again, at this moment, I feel so bad for these guys because of what they went through with Claire. And now they're like kind of going through the same thing where she's just like, whoa.
Right.
And I will give some of you a rose is basically what this attitude. She was like,
begrudgingly. Yeah.
Right.
Now, Sarah, I was thrilled for you that your boy Easy is getting the second rose here. That's a good sign. He's not out of it. You had,
not.
I think you were losing a little bit of hope, but he's still a contender.
I feel good about it. He was even in the preview coming up. So I was like, okay, we're still in it, Easy. We are.
Yeah.
He's not her type, but I like that she's keeping him around at least for me. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, Ben gets the first rose. I look at this now because you told me to.
Yes. Right.
Okay. We like Ben for her, but then she says Easy. And I'm like, yeah. She said Riley, which I'm excited about Riley. I like Riley. Brendan, obviously. Bennett, obviously. I can't believe it wasn't obvious, but
I know. Yeah.
Blake, I don't know. Why is Blake still around?
Yeah.
Don't seem to be connecting much, but okay.
Yep.
Damar and Spencer.
Yep. And then we're down to Ed, Joe, Jordan, Kenny, and Chasen.
Yep.
And I was shocked when Ed got the rose because I just haven't seen, he's gotten a lot of camera time because he seems like game to do whatever the producers want him to do. Sure, I'll go to Tayshia and tell her that Chasen's saying inappropriate things about her. Sure, I'll pretend to go find Tayshia and I'll just have wine with Chris at night. Whatever you want, producers. Like, just keep me on the show. So, that makes sense that he's staying around for those reasons. But I was just like, I haven't seen much chemistry really between her and Ed. And I feel like I had seen a little bit with Jordan Joe, it felt friend-zoney.
Right.
Kenny was kind of a non-entity once Claire left. And Chasen was kind of a villain. But I also was thinking about your sister, Sarah, who was like, there's got to be one more blow-up with Ed and Chasen, and we never really got it. Chasen just is unceremoniously gone.
Yeah, they did not get another fight. Maybe because Noah, they just, prioritized Noah this episode. Or maybe Ed and Chasen learned their lesson and they just like dialed it down. I don't know. But yeah, we didn't get it. And I assumed she was going to split them up. And it seems like Chasen would be the one to go if you were going to keep one of them.
Yeah, right. I mean, I half expected Chasen to like go in to hug Tayshia and be like, you're still a smoke show. Like one last, thing on the way out.
We didn't get a last smoke show, Chasen. Boo. I was so sad to see Kenny go because he's one of my faves just because he stood up to Claire. But yeah, it didn't seem like he was really connecting with Tayshia, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was sad to see Jordan go.
I know. See, I thought that I did feel a little bit of chemistry with Jordan and Tayshia, especially like when she first showed up, but I guess she wasn't feeling it. I would recommend Jordan new glasses, but that's just like a personal taste thing. I just didn't love the look for you.
I feel Joe, apparently it was a fan favorite. Because when I was just doing research online, it was apparently the internet was so sad to see Joe go. Joe was adorable, but they did not seem like they were connecting. So I'm not surprised about that. Yeah.
Me neither. But sorry, internet, he's gone. But now coming up, 2-on-1, Noah versus Bennett. We're getting the payoff next week. So
okay. Well, I guess you have to keep a villain on. I don't know. Do you? Is that how this?
I don't know how this is going to go. Like, I don't know if this is going to be Bennett's downfall because he's too obsessed with Noah.
Yeah.
And needs to focus on Tayshia, or if, Noah's villain side is really going to be on full display. Clearly, we get the moment from Tayshia in the preview where she's like, is this like middle school drama really what you guys are doing all the time? I'm not into this. Like, we get that, but like, I want to know who it's directed towards, especially,
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that she's at least realizing it's the two of them instead of this like whole room full of people she thinks might be questioning her integrity. Like, come on, take my easy out of it. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yes, get it down to the two of them. Let's have a blow up. I guess that's what we do in this show. So okay, I'm on board.
Okay, good.
Noah without a mustache.
The code on this show. Yeah.
And honestly, was Chasen Noah's only friend? Because
probably because they're both villains.
Yeah, the shots that we got with Noah were just with Chasen, and like then the rest of the guys were over here. So I wonder who Noah's going to hang out with. He could hang out with Spencer, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like he would be closer with Spencer, but I don't know.
All right, I don't know. I feel like Brendan is still in the mix. I feel like Ivan, Zac, and Ben, are those the front runners? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else, but I think you covered it as far as right now. But I've got my eye on easy. I'm not giving up.
I'm not giving up either. Let's go. Come on.
He's fun.
All right. Okay. Catherine says she's going to send them both home. And you know what? I'd be okay with that if this becomes a problem. Because I do like Bennett, but again, I don't know if I can really take him seriously. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. And no more Birkenstocks. Okay, great. Yeah, easy.
Yeah, we all like easy. He's fun.
Yes. Okay, so our schedule has been a little wonky because of Thanksgiving, but we will be back Thursday for the next Bachelorette.
Yes. And we'll be back on Monday with a special belated Amazing Race recap with some more special guests.
Yeah. Yes. Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific for Amazing Race. Join us for that. Yes.
Everything's going to be so fun.
Yes. Thank you, everyone who joined us live. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Saturday.
Yes. Thank you for coming on this special time. And if you're watching us later, leave us a comment. Let you know. Are you on my side or are you on Sarah's side with the Noah situation?
And with the Birkenstock situation.
And with the Birkenstocks, yes. And do you agree that Tayshia is very obviously into nerdy white guys?
Yeah.
Sarah and I
Yeah.
both see it, and we
Look,
support it.
We all have types. I'm currently married to a nerdy white guy.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it's not, I don't think it's just nerdy white guys, because I do think Ivan has a little bit of nerd in him as well. So I think it's just nerdy guys generally, but Bennett and Zac are both obviously nerdy white guys that she's into.
Well, I love nerdy guys, so I'm on board with that. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. We want to know your thoughts.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And we will see you next time, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.